Alright, let's talk about Iceland. Not just the country but the living, breathing legend at the edge of the world. This is a place where the land itself seems to be alive, constantly shifting, bubbling and reinventing itself. Welcome to the land where it's sunny at midnight, and your neighbor might be a Viking ghost who still owes you money. Here the sun barely sets in summer, and the darkness of winter is lit by stories of ancient warriors and mischievous spirits. I came here expecting friendly sheep and a chill volcano, but Iceland is a wild mix of dramatic poets, mischievous elves, and hyperactive geologists. The sheep really do roam free, but so do the legends. Every hill and valley has a tale, and every local has a story that blurs the line between fact and folklore. Here, the GPS tells you to turn left at a steaming crack in the earth, and you just do it. The roads wind through landscapes that look like they belong on another planet, and you start to wonder if your car is the only thing keeping you tethered to reality. Icelanders look calm, like they know the ground could erupt at any moment, and they're fine with it. Maybe it's the Viking blood, or maybe it's just years of living with the unexpected. Either way, there's a quiet confidence here, a sense that whatever happens, they'll just knit another sweater and carry on. You'll drive for hours through mossy lava fields, then stumble into a town with a name you can't pronounce, only to find the best hot dog of your life. The landscapes are vast and empty, but the towns are full of warmth, quirky traditions, and the kind of hospitality that makes you feel like you've wandered into a family reunion. It's a land of contradictions, remote, weird, and the only place you can complain about the cold while soaking in a hot tub. One minute you're shivering in the wind, the next you're basking in geothermal bliss, surrounded by snow and laughter, so buckle up. We're about to explore a place where the national sport is knitting sweaters and waiting for the next eruption. Here, even celebrities can't resist donning the iconic wool jumper and striking a pose against the wild, windswept backdrop. I'll be your guide. An Irishman out of his element, trying to make sense of a country where the horses are friendlier than the weather. The wind will try to steal your hat, the language will twist your tongue, but the people and the stories will win your heart. If you want an adventure that will leave you cold, amazed, and slightly confused, Iceland is waiting. Get ready for a journey through a land where the impossible feels normal, and every day is a new story waiting to be told. First things first, Iceland is remote. It's an island in the North Atlantic, halfway between North America and Europe. Basically, it's not close to anything. Its nearest neighbor is Greenland, which is like saying your closest friend is a giant ice cube. The population? Fewer than Wichita, Kansas. Some towns have fewer people than an elevator. You'll drive for hours and see more sheep than cars. It's majestic and a little unnerving. This isolation-shaped Icelanders, fiercely independent, self-reliant, and confident they can handle anything. Blizzards, volcanoes, you name it. The air is cleaner, the silence louder, and the landscape bigger than you can imagine. You're forced to disconnect from the modern world, sometimes because there's no cell service. Standing on a black sand beach, staring at the endless ocean, you realize how small you are. It's humbling, a little terrifying, and absolutely wonderful. There's nowhere else quite like it. Iceland's landscape isn't just beautiful, it's aggressively beautiful. Volcanoes, some still active, keep everyone on their toes. Geysers, like Stroker, erupt every few minutes just because they can. Glaciers cover over 10% of the country, with ice caves glowing blue like something out of a sci-fi movie. Next to the glaciers, bubbling mud pots and steaming vents, fire and ice side by side. Waterfalls are everywhere, from Gullfoss's thunder to Seljalandsfoss, Foss, which you can walk behind and get soaked. Skogafoss creates rainbows at its base, just for fun. And in winter, the northern lights turn the sky into a cosmic light show. Altogether, it's like a highlight reel of Earth's greatest hits. Nature here is turned up to 11. If you don't like the weather in Iceland, wait 5 minutes. I've seen sunshine, hail, and gale-force winds in the time it takes to put on a jacket. The weather is wild, unpredictable, and dictates everything. Icelanders say, there's no bad weather, only bad clothing. And they mean it. Locals walk their dogs in what feels like a hurricane, while tourists cling to lampposts. The wind is legendary, it carves landscapes and can rip your car door off if you're not careful. But the drama creates incredible light and moody mythic scenes. The weather is a reminder of nature's power and your own insignificance. It's frustrating, challenging, and magical all at once. You don't conquer Icelandic weather. You dress for it, and you learn to love the chaos. Now let's talk about the elves. In Iceland, stories of the hidden folk are everywhere, woven into daily life, whispered on the wind, and etched into the very stones beneath your feet. Elves, known as huldufolk, are said to live in the rocks and hills, invisible to most but always present. These mysterious neighbors are believed to guard the land, and their homes are treated with great care. Many Icelanders won't say they believe outright, but they also won't risk angering the elves. It's a kind of practical superstition. Why take chances with the unknown? Roads are sometimes rerouted to avoid disturbing elf rocks. Construction projects have even been paused or redesigned after locals protested, convinced the hidden folk must not be disturbed. Not a joke. This isn't just a tourist gimmick. It's a deep respect for nature and the mysteries it holds. The belief is part of a broader Icelandic attitude, treating the land as alive, unpredictable, and deserving of reverence. Trolls, on the other hand, are the opposite. Big, clumsy, and doomed to turn to stone if caught by sunlight. Their petrified forms are said to explain Iceland's bizarre and dramatic rock formations. Every mountain, valley, and boulder has a story. Driving through Iceland isn't just a scenic trip, it's like traveling through a living fairy tale, where every landscape feature has a legend attached. At Christmas, forget Santa, here come the Yule lads. 13 mischievous trolls, each with their own weird habit, visit children on the 13 nights before Christmas, leaving gifts or rotten potatoes in kids' shoes depending on their behavior. Icelandic folklore is a blend of humor, darkness, and deep respect for the land. Stories are shared around fires, passed down through generations, and still shape the way people see their world. The supernatural is just another neighbor here, woven into the fabric of daily life, as real as the wind or the rain. It makes the country feel alive with stories, as if every hill and valley is watching, waiting to reveal its secrets. Even skeptics find themselves looking twice at certain rocks, wondering if there's more to the landscape than meets the eye. In Iceland, myth and reality walk side by side, making every step an invitation to believe in a world just out of sight. Let's talk about the food. Icelandic cuisine is all about making dewfish, lamb, and root vegetables. The most infamous dish? Hakarl, fermented shark. It smells like ammonia and tastes like a dare. I tried it. My soul briefly left my body, but the real national food is the hot dog, pilsa, made mostly from lamb, loaded with toppings, and cooked in geothermal water. Eating one in the freezing cold is a rite of passage. Beyond food, Icelanders are obsessed with hot tubs, heitur podur, thanks to abundant geothermal energy. Every town has a public pool. It's where people relax, gossip, and survive winter. Life here blends ancient traditions with modern tech. Locals are friendly but reserved, practical, and community-minded. They know which foods are for survival and which are for joy. And joy is usually found in a hot dog and a hot tub. Reykjavik is the world's northernmost capital, and it's got style. It's a hub of music, art, and design, with colorful houses and modern landmarks like the Harpa Concert Hall. The city feels sophisticated and creative, but wild nature is always just outside. Mount Esja looms across the bay, and in minutes you can go from a hip cafe to a desolate lava field. Reykjavik's residents balance creativity with a deep connection to the land. Friday night art gallery, Saturday morning hiking a volcano. Urban life and outdoor adventure are inseparable here. The city is safe, walkable, and feels like a small town. Everyone knows everyone. There's always something happening, from bands to festivals. Reykjavik is Iceland in miniature, creative, resilient, and surrounded by wild beauty. Let's dive into some of Iceland's most surprising quirks. First up, no mosquitoes. That's right, not a single one. While most countries spend their summers swatting away these pesky insects, Icelanders get to enjoy the outdoors in peace. You can sit by a lake in the height of summer and not get bitten once. No buzzing, no itching, just pure, uninterrupted relaxation by the water. Of course, there's a trade-off. The weather can be so chilly that you might find yourself wearing a jacket in July, and the wind can be relentless. But hey, at least you won't be bothered by bugs. And if you're craving a Big Mac, you're out of luck. There's no McDonald's here. The last McDonald's in Iceland closed its doors in 2009. The final cheeseburger and fries have been preserved in a glass case, drawing curious tourists from around the world who come to see this quirky relic. Instead of golden arches, you'll find local fast food joints and the legendary Icelandic hot dog, often called the best in the world. These hot dogs are a must-try, topped with crispy onions and unique sauces. Icelanders also have a unique way of naming themselves. They use a patronymic system, which means your last name is your parents' first name, plus son if you're a boy or daughter if you're a girl. So, families often have different last names and the phone book is organized by first name. It's a system that can be confusing for outsiders, but it's just another part of Iceland's charm. And here's another twist. Until 1989, beer was actually illegal in Iceland. For decades, locals had to make do with other drinks or travel abroad for a pint. Now every March 1st is celebrated as Beer Day, when people across the country raise a glass to mark the end of Prohibition and the return of beer to Icelandic life. But even when beer was banned, Icelanders had Brennivin, a powerful schnapps nicknamed Black Death. It's still a favorite at celebrations and a rite of passage for visitors. All these oddities, no mosquitoes, no McDonald's, unusual names, and a wild beer history, are just a few reasons why Iceland is endlessly fascinating and full of surprises. It's a country that does things its own way, embracing its quirks and traditions with pride. Visit Iceland, and you'll collect stories you can't find anywhere else, stories you'll be telling for years to come. And one thing's for sure, you'll never forget your time in this remarkable land of fire, ice, and endless curiosity. So, what's the verdict? Is Iceland paradise, or just beautifully bizarre? Honestly, it's both. The landscapes are jaw-dropping, the northern lights are unforgettable, and the sense of scale is humbling. But it's also weird. Hot dogs cooked by volcanoes, roads rerouted for elves, and a preserved cheeseburger as a tourist attraction. The weather is wild, the food can be a dare, and the language is a puzzle. Iceland is all about contrasts, midnight sun and polar nights, fire and ice, reserved people and wild stories. It's not for those seeking predictable comfort. It's for adventurers and the curious. You'll feel like you've traveled to another world. Iceland doesn't care if you think it's paradise or just odd. It's unapologetically itself. So should you go? Absolutely. See the waterfalls, hike the glaciers, soak in the hot springs, try the hot dog, maybe even the shark, and don't forget to pack a good sweater, or 3.